Hello, everyone. Bishop T.D. Jakes, one of the most influential spiritual leaders in the world and the revered founder of the Potter's House in Dallas, has just been hit with unbelievable news that has left both his congregation and millions of followers around the globe in complete shock, sparking an emotional wave of speculation, concern, and reflection about what this could mean for the future of his ministry, his health, and his legacy. For decades, Bishop Jakes has stood as a towering figure in modern Christianity. A preacher, author, filmmaker, and entrepreneur whose words have inspired generations and whose leadership has reshaped the landscape of faith-based influence. But this recent development has sent tremors through the spiritual community, revealing that even giants of faith are not immune to life's unexpected blows. According to multiple insider reports and eyewitness accounts from within the Potter's House circle, the shocking news came just days after Bishop Jakes had delivered one of his most powerful sermons of the year, a message about perseverance and divine purpose that, in hindsight, seemed to foreshadow the challenges he was about to face. While official statements from the church have remained measured, those close to the bishop describe the situation as both deeply personal and profoundly impactful, with some suggesting that the news touches not just his health, but also the future structure of his vast ministry network, which includes global humanitarian efforts, a booming media empire, and one of the largest congregations in America. For many, the initial fear was that the unbelievable news might involve a serious health scare. After all, Jakes, now 68, has faced public speculation in the past about exhaustion and the toll decades of nonstop preaching and leadership can take on the body. And while those concerns have not been officially confirmed, his sudden absence from several scheduled appearances and the urgent prayer requests circulating among his followers have only fueled the anxiety. However, what's become clear is that this news goes beyond just one man's health. It touches the heart of a movement, because Bishop Jakes has become much more than a preacher. He's a symbol of faith's enduring power in a world of chaos, and any hint that he's struggling sends ripples across the global Christian community. Those close to him say that when the news broke, he gathered his family and inner circle in private prayer, insisting that this was not a season for fear, but for faith. Quoting his own famous words, "When you are hit hard, that's when you stand tall, because the enemy doesn't attack what isn't anointed," a statement that has since spread like wildfire across social media, where fans, followers, and fellow pastors have been offering prayers and words of encouragement. But beyond the health rumors, others within the church leadership hint that this unbelievable news might also involve a significant leadership transition or internal restructuring, something that Bishop Jakes has been quietly preparing for years as he mentors his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, who has become one of the most dynamic and influential young voices in ministry today. For years, many have speculated that Sarah would one day take on a larger role within the Potter's House network, and recent developments, including Jakes's emotional sermon during her recent installation event, seem to suggest that he has been passing the torch in preparation for a new chapter. If true, this news could mark a historic moment in modern ministry, one where the spiritual baton is handed from father to daughter in a continuation of legacy rather than an end. But even as that transition unfolds, there's another layer to this story. Reports that the bishop has been facing immense pressure, both spiritually and physically, from the weight of carrying a global ministry through the aftermath of a pandemic, economic shifts, and cultural upheaval that have left many churches struggling to survive. Insiders say that Jakes, ever the visionary, has been wrestling with how to evolve the Potter's House for a new generation, even as critics and media commentators scrutinize his success, wealth, and influence. It's no secret that being a spiritual leader at his level comes with intense scrutiny, every decision analyzed, every sermon dissected, every partnership judged, and those close to him say that the bishop has recently expressed exhaustion not from preaching the gospel, but from the unrelenting pressure of maintaining perfection in a world that often forgets that pastors are human too. Still, even amid the whirlwind of rumors, what remains constant is Bishop Jakes's unwavering faith. His belief that every storm Those who carries a attended his divine most purpose. recent service say that he spoke with tears in his eyes, reminding his congregation that when life hits you hardest, that's when God is closest. A line that brought the entire church to its feet in emotional applause. Online, his supporters have flooded platforms like X, Facebook and Instagram with prayers, testimonials, and clips from his past sermons that now feel prophetic, as if he had been preparing his flock for this very moment. But even as people worry, there's also a sense of collective gratitude, a recognition that Jakes has poured decades of wisdom, energy, and compassion into building a ministry that can endure beyond him. His influence extends far beyond the pulpit, from producing films that explore faith and redemption to mentoring business leaders, artists, and politicians on spiritual and emotional intelligence. And this latest test, whatever form it takes, only serves to remind the world of his humanity. And perhaps that's the real message behind this unbelievable news, that even the strongest among us need rest, that even the most faithful face trials, and that legacy isn't measured by how long you stand on the stage, but by how deeply your words continue to echo when you step away. Whether this shocking development proves to be a health challenge, a leadership change, or a personal crisis, one thing is certain. Bishop T.D. Jakes has already built something that will outlive the storm, and his legacy, as a man who taught millions to keep believing even when the odds are impossible, will only grow stronger through this moment. As his congregation continues to pray and the world watches with bated breath, one truth remains clear. No matter how unbelievable the news may be, faith, not fear, will have the final word, because that's what Bishop Jakes has always preached, and that's what he continues to live. Thanks for watching.